Try now.
There we go.
Okay, bye. Gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hey, Steve,
Okay.
can you give me share screen rights, please?
Yes, sir. Oops. 1 second.
Yeah, because that sunlight is, we can do it together. Okay.
Okay, Paul, you got it.
I'm gonna start Moda'ani. Good morning, everyone. So far.
Morning.
Moda'ani lefanecha. Moda'ani Ruach HaKayam, Ruach HaKayam. שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך מודעני לפניך מודעני רוח וקיים רוח וקיים שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך מודעני לפניך מודעני לפניך רוח וקיים רוח וקיים שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך מודעני לפניך מודעני לפניך רוח וקיים רוח וקיים מה חזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך שחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך Moda ani lefanecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla.
Not hearing anything.
Can you hear me?
Not hearing anything.
Okay, Meryl can hear.
How do we get it to make it have sound?
Do you have another Bluetooth speaker nearby that might need to be shut off?
I'm going to try it on my phone.
I can hear, yeah.
Ruach Hai v'kayam. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. And last time. Moda ani lefanecha. Moda ani lefanecha. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Ruach Hai v'kayam. Shehekazarta bi nishmati b'chemla rabba emunatecha. שהחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday morning circle, our journey of Teshuvah. We're in the 8th week of our program this week, and we've been developing the ascending journey. We've been taking an ascending journey through the Sfirot as we began in July and Av, went through into Elul, and we're heading towards the high holidays. In the chat here, I'm going to put up our participants package, which is the full kind of information about what we've been up to for these 8 weeks. And today, we spent the last 7 weeks going from Malchut to Yesod to Netzach and Hod and Hesed and Gevurah and Tiferet last week. And then this week, we're covering 3 Sfirot, which is the Sfirot, the triad, which is Hakma, Bina, and Da'at. And, being a student of the Kabbalah for many decades, several decades, I find that when I study and learn about these Sfirot at the top, in this triad, the Hakma, Bina, and Da'at, I always find that I'm getting new understandings. So I'm sharing with you the link to the image that we're going to use, and I'm going to pull it up right now. This is the second image of the Tree of Life that we've been using in the program. And you can see that, if I can pull it up, maybe. There we go. It's interesting because not all the trees of life have a da'at in it. And it's a bit, the explanation that I provided here does give you some insight into why. Oh, I'm sorry, the image didn't come up here yet. Let me just see if I can pull it up.
I can hold it I'll hold it in my window if people look in my window.
There we go. Okay, I got it now. We're in this Bina, Hakma, Da'at area, and then we're heading towards Keter, which is our 9th week, which will be next week, next Sunday, the final session of this program, although we do have a couple announcements about the way forward. So, this is an experiential program, and we're practicing using chant and meditation to feel the energies of the Sfirot, not just intellectually, but actually experiencing them in our body. And so I would like to, from that perspective, offer, a kind of a simplified understanding of it, where Hakma is really the kind of idea generation zone that comes forward from all of us. We all have ideas that we kind of generate in our lives. And the Hakma is the source of that. It's like a kind of human trait, a wisdom of idea generating. And we have revelations. This is the zone where we take the revelations that we receive and we start to bring them into our consciousness. And Bina for me is really the balancing of that is like putting form around the ideas. You know, there's this expression that there's a million ideas floating around the universe, and it's a limited set of ideas that actually get form and structure and that are able to actually, you know, come into reality. So, and with Bina, you know, there's a debate and there's development, there's iteration, there's, you know, using the intellect, if you will, to take ideas that come from revelation and bring them, translate them for the world that we're living in at this point. And Da'at, which is the centering, it's in our kind of sacred central pillar, you know, and so we're like looking at it from Malchut, Yesod, Tiferet, Da'at. And I'm still trying to figure this out, but in my own understanding of the chakra energies, it's Lam, Vam, Ram, Ham, which is in the throat chakra. I'm not quite sure if Da'at links to our throat chakra, where our voice box is. I'm still, you know, like working on trying to figure that where that is in my body. But in part, it's like the way that we speak, the way that we utter from our, and the way that we'll chant today, coming from our this is Da'at zone, is actually how we kind of manifest our own kind of manifestation of the God light that is within us, you know. And I love this line that it said that Da'at is used to describe a prophet's connection to the divine. A prophet is referred to as Hashkel Vayodea Oti, as one who perceives and knows the divine, or one that perceives and knows the transcendent, or the love force, or whatever we want to call it. I thought that was a good kind of segue to the chants. I'm going to pass that off to Jody, and also for us to begin to explore the prophet within each of us and the calling that we want, how we want to use our voice in this world that we're living in. And so I'm going to pass it over to Jody now. And the chants, I'll put the chants up in the chat. There's lots to read about this and intellectualize about it. So again, try to connect to your body, and we're in experiential mode of trying to understand and explore how these energies feel in our own bodies. Jody?
Good morning, everyone. So for our first chant today, I picked tuning into the creator function, Asa Enai. And it means my help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Shefa wrote this chant for a friend to use during labor. During the process of birthing, it seemed important to tune into the creator function of God, to become partners with God in the work of creation, and to turn towards that aspect of God that is continually creating through us. Even if you're not literally giving birth, this chant can be used to stimulate and celebrate the creative force that moves through us each day. And usually it's done as a round, but we're going to chant it. If you want to come in with the English part while I'm singing the Hebrew, you're welcome to do that, but I'm going to just sing it as a linear song. And we're drumming. Esainai el harim ve'ayin v'yo ezri. Esainai el harim ma'ayin yavo esri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai el of heaven and earth. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. And the last time. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esainai El Harim, Ma'ayin Yavo Ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. And Paula's going to put the second chant up. Paula, is there anything you'd like to share about the Rabba Emunah? Or I can just go right into it? Just go right into it. Okay, Paula's going to put the second chant into the chat, and I will start to talk about it. It's called Keep the Faith. And you might recognize, let me make sure, yeah. Rabba Emunah is part of the morning prayer, Moda Ani, which we sang earlier. And it means, how great is your faithfulness? And Shefa writes, this practice came to me during a time of turmoil in the world. I was searching for a practice that might acknowledge my grief, yet keep me from despair. I needed a practice that would connect me to resources of strength and resilience as I walked through the shadows of fear, rage, and devastation. The Book of Lamentations describes a time like this, and one particular phrase from that painful text found its way into the light of our morning liturgy. God's faithfulness comes to me as a glimpse of the widest, longest perspective. In that glimpse, I am calmed. I relax my frantic grip. I stop trying to figure it out. I begin to trust the flow of inexorable change. As God sees me, I surrender to that faithful gaze. This divine faith in me is what grows my own fragile faith. When I am known, seen, and loved completely through this divine faith, I can risk and dare to rise to the challenge of loving this world with all that I am and everything that I've got. So, here we go. And today it's easy, there's only 2 words. Rabba Emunah, sorry. Rabba Emunatecha, 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 Rabba
Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha Rabba Emunatecha, and last time. Rabba Emunatecha 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 Rabba Emunatecha.
So if we just continue in our silence, continue with our eyes closed, and practice deep belly breathing. Allow the chance to just be perfect medicine that our body and mind and souls need. And allow those vibrations, those energies, just to continue to massage every cell in our bodies. And just remind yourself to sit up tall and allow the crown of your head to reach up to the sky. Allow your shoulders to come back and up and open up our hearts. Spine strong and straight. Creating this beautiful physical container to hold our breath, our ruach, and ask that you in your mind's eye find a mountain, some region of the world. Maybe you've been there before. Maybe you'll go there for the first time right now. And just feel the mountain welcoming you as you resituate. And you see the views from miles. You feel the God's faithfulness spreading across the horizon in you. Faith in you. Bestowing creativity and birth every moment in you. And I want to have us give gratitude to our ancestors as we sit here. And we welcome them into our space. And we offer a deep sense of appreciation for all they've been through, all their suffering, all their struggle. And we hold them and we heal them as they hold us and heal us together. And we welcome them to stay with us through this practice. As all our ancestors join together now in breath. And just feel the majesty and the presence of your mountain, welcoming the ancestors, embracing them too. Just like a summer barbecue or picnic. So if you imagine that there's this ball of light, almost shaped like a football, above our Keter crown, almost shape of a football. And it's a perfect light that's holding a number of different frequencies in it. One frequency is a perfect immune system, a strengthened immune system. And in this light, the frequency tells us what we need to do to take care of ourselves. It's also known as a universal meridian. And this universal meridian holds perfect healing for our bodies, for each other, for everyone in our communities, for everyone suffering from COVID. And we extend this perfect meridian and this perfect immune system to all those who might be exposed to this pandemic, who are exposed to the pandemic. As protection, as guardianship, that they are protected. And if contacted with the virus, they heal easily. So just allow this ball to drop down through the Keter and just have it sit in these 3 Sephirot, Chachma, Bina, Dat. And allow those frequencies to penetrate into these energy centers. Strengthening our ideas, strengthening our manifestation of those ideas, and building a bridge into our reality. And as this ball of frequency descends now, it stops for a moment in Tiferet, and there's just this pure beam of light going back and forth between Chesed and Gevura, strengthening our heart center, and this frequency of light just penetrates and sends splendor and beauty to every part of our body, opening our hearts, opening our strength in perfect balance. And as we descend to Yesod in this perfect vertical line going down our spine, feel the frequency, this strengthening of our immune system, moving down to Yesod, and just healing any aspects of our body that need to be healed, any aspects of our mind that need to be healed, any past trauma that needs to be healed. We allow those frequencies, this universal meridian, to balance and heal and send the necessary guidance that we need to take care of our bodies, our mind, and our soul. And we descend further to Hod Nefesh, where we just offer tremendous gratitude for this moment, for all that we have, for our health, for our families, for our communities, for our planet, for our breath. And that we have the strength and the power to carry out our day. And we descend further to Malchut. And we just rest at the base of our spine in Malchut. And we just feel the energy from the earth. We feel the energy from each other in this session today. We feel the energy from all the planets, all the sun, and the other suns and other galaxies and moons, all the elements that we need to support and strengthen our souls, our minds, and our bodies. Now rising up through Malkut, rising up, ascending up past your sod, and we'll land in Tiferet, into this land of beauty, this land of splendor, this land that connects us to our heart and our might. And we'll just stay silent here, repeating Elohim, God's name. Breathing in Elohim, exhaling Elohim. And we'll just stay silent for a few minutes, and then Jody's going to connect us back to the chants.
Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. Esainai el heharim, ma'ayin yavo ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth. And last time, Esainai
Ayin Yervo Ezri. Esainai El Harim. Ma'ayin Yervo Ezri. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one. My help comes from the one, creator of heaven and earth.
Thank you all so much for joining us today on this day of our journey um, into these elevated Sephirot. So much power, so much strength, so much wisdom, so much creativity and love. And Paul and Jody and introducing it, and Paul just creating this space, and Jody, your beauty and voice and bringing it forth. So at this time, we like to have people just share whatever gratitude, whatever insights, whatever meaning that may have come to you today, or anything else that you might want to share. Meryl?
Okay, I got a couple nuggets today, thanks to this beautiful session. What I wanted to embody this morning, I just realized that my hands have intelligence. If our body is a hologram, heart to the hands, and I just let the hands do their thing, and it came up with finishing this crown of Shekhinah, which I was really happy about, and I didn't think about it, it just kind of happened. The other thing is I got an additional verse to Esai Ayin, and it's, I am of the one, I'm part of the source, my help comes from the source, I am the source. Okay, the tune might be wrong, but you get the idea. Okay, and I forgot the other thing, but it will come back to me later.
Thank you. It's great. Paul.
Yeah, so for me, I'm on this kind of ongoing journey of exploration about Da'at and how that feels in my body, and there's an experience of, I think it's with age and wisdom and experience, you go through these cycles of life where you have ideas, you try to manifest them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. And like this kind of life journey that I'm on. And there's something about like the universal pillar that you were meditating us through, Steve, and that, we've been talking about the central pillar of the Sefirot. There's something that I'm with Da'at where it was like, there's like a kind of easefulness and a comfort in experiencing those cycles of ideas manifesting or not manifesting, and it was almost like it's like letting go of the outcome and being present to the divine unfolding. Anyway, I'm still like, but I felt like I got a taste of what that in my body might feel like. I do feel like, for me, it's like in this area, in my throat chakra zone. So.
Yeah, just as an aside, I'm doing some work with releasing toxins from the body, and we have the most lymph glands, and you know this, Dr. Zeiss, are up here around the neck and the throat. So it holds so much of our body's flow is right here in this area, the dot. Anyone else?
I'll share. I don't know how many times I repeated the different melodies in Rabbah because I was like transcending. It was like enough to just stay grounded. But I was just very filled with spirit. It was pretty amazing. So I really enjoyed doing that. But as the one leading the chants, it's like I've got to contain it and channel it as well. So I'm constantly learning how to do that. So thank you. Oh, and Steve, I loved your meditation. That was great.
Thank you.
And I'll just share. I usually go to, when I was 20 years old, I went cross country with a cousin, and we went all the national parks, and I went to Devil's Tower, Wyoming. And I had long hair, and before the trip, I decided to cut it all off. And I remember sitting on the top of Devil's Tower, which is just this mountain that rises in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And it was quiet. I went away. My cousin and her boyfriend came with us too. They went somewhere else, and I went off by myself. And I was sitting by myself, and all of a sudden a strong breeze came from nowhere. I mean, there's like nothing really to create breezes there, but I remember this strong breeze just blowing through my hair and just feeling God through every ounce of my head and my hair, and the freedom of that moment always has stayed with me. It's just amazing. So that's the mountain I go to.
Beautiful.
Oh.
So just picking up on what Jody said, I really appreciated her introduction to the Rabbah Emunatecha chant because it kind of brought some things together for me, and thinking that through the Chokhmah and Bina, wisdom and understanding, coming to the knowledge that to have faith that what we're going through now will pass. And that kind of building on, if people heard Rabbi Fred at services yesterday, talking about we're now in a narrow place, and how do we get through to the other side, and what's that going to look like, and what's our hope for what it's through. It's kind of fit into that for my weekend, and so thank you very much. I
Great.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
And if anyone ever wants to read through those, the ideation of the chants, in the email that we send, there's a link, there's the email link that'll take you right to the website, and you can click and even hear Shefa singing it, and with the whole write-up and everything else. And some of them even have the musical notation you can click on.
Larry?
Yeah, so Jody, thank you so much for your voice, your everything. The Rabbah Emunatecha was particularly like amazing today. And I really liked it. I think it was the Rabbah Emunatecha where the music just it's just an explosive something in the music, which was really, and it's just two words, which is like, and there's something even about the feeling of Rabbah, you know, I don't know, Emunotecha. It's just something about the musicality of those sounds that is amazing. What I want to talk about a little bit, Steve, is you have several times now talked about a mountain thing. And I just want to share, I mean, I've just come on board the last 3 weeks and I missed the grounding chakras or the grounding sphirot. That is my need, my thirst is for ground. So I just want to share what comes for what it's worth. You know, when I think of mountaintops and sort of ridges where you can just see so much, I need what's in the valley. So what I think of is, what is it? Matavu ohalecha. You know, like I think of those beautiful tents sort of arrayed down in the valley. And there's this sort of prophet up there, this non-Jewish prophet, you know, who's been asked to curse the Israelites. And he just sees the panoply of this peaceful setting with all these beautiful people and these hearts, you know, down there on the ground. So to me, that's more than the overview, the abstraction way up there for me. And that's what I'm about. I mean, I'm all about abstractions, and it's so hard for me to get on ground, which is why I thirst for it so much. So anyway, it's that heartfelt community, home community that's, you know, I can almost imagine, you know, sort of smoke coming out of the chimneys of the tents as people are cooking breakfast or something. I mean, it's just a very homey kind of image that comes to me that's extraordinarily grounding and needed for me personally.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Larry. And clearly, we all have permission to be anywhere on the mountain. And I'll make that distinction.
Paul created a public Google Doc too that has all the chants and all the write-ups, so you can go back, Larry, and review all of that with the chants. And
I've been working on that, Jody. Thank you. And thank you for putting all this together, all three of you guys. I mean, I really, really appreciate that.
I just want to say what Larry said. I want to echo that. I love, Jody, that you go where you go. And if you go to 3 or 4 melodies, I think it's better than Shefa's. I really do. And I love Shefa, and she is a divine inspiration. And you are taking us someplace that she can take us to, and you're taking us in a very special way. So please don't be hard on yourself. Don't change it. It was perfect. And I really appreciate what Larry said too, because I also need grounding, and I was up on that mountain, but this mountain that I go to has a very steep path down to a valley in which the ancients are buried. And then I connect. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. I'm making a special connection to Rabbi Zalman, to Zalman. I'm trying to do a piece that's going to connect me, that I use only for meditation to bring in his guidance. That was the final thing. And so I did it with Jody's chanting, not with Shefa's. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'd like to just express my gratitude for the piece where we called in our ancestors. I could really feel that. That was very, very powerful. And I just like envisioned all of us chanting and connecting to the same vibration that our ancestors chanted as well. And the idea of keeping the faith, and personally in my life, that's very, very powerful for me, the reminder to keep the faith, and then collectively for all of us as we go through the narrow path, like Carol said. So thank you.
Thank you, Jacinda. The one thing I wanted to follow up what Meryl said earlier is just the power in our hands and the power of the Shekhinah. Because when I talk about this frequency, that is the Shekhinah, really, that's dropping into our bodies. It's always in our body, and that energy is just in our hearts, in our grounding, and the more awareness we bring to that, and our hands are help to collect it, and like a potter, shape it, and because it's God's hands really doing its work.
I'll share too. When I was learning Essa and I, when I was learning that, when tuning in to the creative function, it's like I heard the melody and I just got up and I started dancing. It's the first time that ever happened. And I was like, oh, this one is so much fun. It just amazes me, the cadence and the rhythms, and it's just a delight. So I'm really enjoying all of this.
Diane, and then I just want to point out, Diane, too, that I want you to share, but we're over, so anybody who has to leave, should just drop off. Okay, go ahead, Diane.
I was just going to piggyback on what Jody said. I find it hard to sit still during a lot of this. I really do. I embody so much more if I'm doing something. And I almost feel like turning off my camera because I may be in the background doing this, but your voice really is just lovely. And I feel it inside me, as well as the meditations and then the wisdom that you share to all of you. Thank you so much.
No judgment if you want to dance. There are people who are dancing in their suits. Don't.
Hey, Paul, would you like to say anything about future?
Yeah, I think it's like we're way over.
Yeah,
so
I
I just
know.
want to honor people's time. We'll be back next week for the last, for Keter. And then I think we're doing Yom Kippur afternoon,
Right.
where we'll do a special 10th session, and it'll be opened up to a broader community. And then we're also, Jody, Steve, and I are going to offer a October through December program on, we're still working on what to say about it, but from my perspective, it's about awakening our inner prophets, and we're going to use prophetic chanting and meditations and explore that zone that we started on today. So we're working on a write-up and an announcement and all that will be coming soon. Peace, love, blessings to everyone. Have a blessed week ahead, and we look forward to Keter next week. Oh my God, we're going to be in the highest zone.
Great seeing everybody today.
Bye.
Happy Labor Day.
Are you muted yet?
Meryl? The answer is yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then we have to have a special, can we have a discussion right now? Because I'm at a real high level of vibration.
Where are you?
I am outside. See all the beautiful trees.
Gorgeous.
And I'm actually treating two pieces. One is for a rabbi in Florida, and is for Susan Matrani Knapp, who's my KZ sister and who we just did that workshop with. So here's my pieces being treated. They were out all shotless. And I'm now even treating the yarn that I use. There it is. Because the rabbi in Florida wants to tefillinesque accoutrement. You met her, actually, Rabbi Deborah. And yeah, this has been like a huge time for me too. And then Razel Raphael invited me to do something on the tefillinesque accoutrement, and I'm going to do it myself. It doesn't speak to Rosh Hashanah. It's not going to be a long thing, but it's going to be a fun thing. And I already, kind of downloaded what's coming. And I think for all of us, the three of us here, we're getting these downloads, and we have to step up to meet them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving the process of surrendering. When I read the intention, what the intention of the, like what we've been doing with the Sephirot. And then I just go to Shefa's website and I type in what I'm guided to type in, and these chants appear. And it's like, I thought it was going to take me a long time, but it like took me like that. And I go, Steve, I got the first one, come listen. And then like shortly after I got the second one, and then I just learn it. But it's a real surrendering, and I'm learning to trust myself more, because first, sometimes I think, oh, Paul's going to think, why did I pick that one? And then I just say, thank you for sharing.
That's right. That's right. You're being directed, and
That's the one and it's just, and it comes together so beautifully.
Comes together so beautifully. And, you know, when you're doing your search with Shefa, are you putting on your headpiece?
I have to get better about doing that. I keep it near me all the time, but I don't put it on all the time.
I'm telling you, you put it on, you're going to feel that this one's got, you know, wild pieces going out. Just to, you know.
When I wore it for the first time, when I wore it at Paul's house, when I was chanting and creating the house blessing and clearing and everything, the energy that went through my head was like unbelievable. I actually had to stop for a minute and go, whoa.
Oh, you're so lucky you've been in that space. I just can't imagine what it would be like to live there. Oh my God.
It is really so perfect for them. And as soon as they can do, you know, more, the people who lived there before used to do musical events, and they had a grand piano in this one stage. There's like a little stage where that picture I took that I sent you of me wearing to fill in is a stage area. So and he left the pulpit thing that the guy puts the liturgy onto.
Yeah, that's great.
So they left it there, and it's this gorgeous old beautiful wood dais, and he wants to have speakers there. He wants to have, you know, musical events. He wants to have chanting. So
fabulous. It's going to be fabulous. Now, Steve, I want to, you know, like
he's letting the dog in.
Oh, okay. I know what it's like with the dog.
Yeah, the dog is in. The dog doesn't know what the dog
I
wants.
know what it's like with the dogs. Right now, mine are being good, but it was a good thing I was on mute, because they were jumping up and down and barking. And I maintained my level of calm. So, Steve, I want to honor you. What you're doing is fabulous. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What would you want in a necklace? I mean, I have necklaces like Gershon Winkler wears one of my necklaces. I traded with Native American men who wear my necklaces. My son just got his brochet because I made him a necklace to bring her in, and it's unbelievable. So I do know now I am channeling at the highest level, and I want to give you what you need. So think about, you know, just off the top of your head, what are some of the things that come to you right now?
In terms of design, the necklace itself, the stone.
Anything that comes to you, anything. Kind of free associate here.
Well, I'm into the blues.
Okay, I got blues, yeah.
And maybe some grays.
I got grays too. This one is Moonstone. Now, I love this. I don't have a whole lot more of the Moonstone, but I could even take some off of this one.
Wow.
But that doesn't go for you, because that's a gray Moonstone. It's not you don't want anything that's like this kind of collar. Do you want something that's longer, that's like a variety of colors?
So I wear this, it's a magnetic necklace. And
just like the chain, stainless steel chain with magnets.
You know what? The first thing is, why don't you measure where you want the other one to come? If you want to wear them both at the same time, you could do that. But what I usually say is, when you wear mine, you shouldn't wear anything else, because we don't want
That's what I've been doing. For a while I was wearing that because I wear a magnet one too, and then I was guided to, when I wear this, to not wear the other.
Right. So, I mean, you can wear the magnet one all the time, but when you want to do some real high level stuff, put on just mind. And so actually tell me the length of the magnet one, and I'll start from there. I'll look for blues and grays and whatever else speaks to me. How about what kind of qualities do you want to include, and blessings and things like that? And if you don't have them all, I mean, you've got my email. You can totally.
Yeah.
Should I sign off and then you and just Steve talk about it?
That's a lovely
Yeah.
idea. As much as
Yeah.
we love you and adore you.
I love you, I love you, I love you. Forever and evermore.
You be quiet, Moby.
So I was, Jerry and I are in the middle of a yoga retreat, and I was in a breakout session yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and we were asked the question, if you had superpowers, where would you want your superpowers to go right now?
Mhm.
And so my work is in mediation, and of the last couple of years, and you could feel it in how I lead the meditations. A lot of it is around trauma healing, and it's that cross section between when people are in conflict and how their prior life trauma or historical trauma or ancestral trauma is impacting in how they're showing up now, hurt, injured, angry, whatever is causing this schism in a relationship. And so my work is being able to not go into, because I'm not a therapist, I'm not going into detail with them about what happened, but it's more going into the field and holding a space of healing for them, and kind of intuiting what might be going on in terms of where it may have been.
That is a perfect kavana. I can't think of anything that is more appropriate and it would be more helpful to you and to the people that you work with. That is definitely my primary goal. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. You put it out there in words, and then I want you to put it in writing. And then I
Okay.
want to get a chant. The more I do this, the more I see this is like such a shamanistic process for it to really work well, that I want it to appear on all levels of your existence and with the clearest intention, and maybe have a chant. And really think about this. I shouldn't pick out your chant, but you pick out, what is the chant? I mean, what came to me immediately, and I don't think that it's the one, but is like OZ Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually think that's the one, but I think that that's a good one for me to keep in mind and possibly use as I do part of it. But there will be something that comes to you through your meditations, through your own chanting. And when you get it, when you really get it in your body, then I want Jody to sing it first in a separate recording and send it to me. And then I want you to sing it in a recording and send it to me. And I think that this will be a crucial part. I've never done this for a male. I've done this for a female, never done it for a male. We are so going to bring in the Shekhinah energy. And the thing that I made today, this is so wild. You'll appreciate this because this is hemp. I actually cut up my son's yoga pants, which he didn't actually wear, but he, bought these expensive hemp yoga pants, and I washed them and I dried them and I made strips out of them. And then I used the yarn with silver wire that I had, and I made this thing for my hand, which I call the tefillinesque accoutrement. And the purpose of it, I realized, it's to pack a punch, but a gentle punch. It's like I was watching this show and somebody had brass knuckles. Brass knuckles are so awful and harmful. But what if we had something soft and malleable? And so this is what came up this morning as I did it. I think I'm making one of these too, just throw it in.
You're remarkable how you're weaving everything into existence.
A friend of mine has her email and her business is called Weaving Wholeness, and I love that name. And maybe a chant will come to me on Weaving Wholeness because I love that you recognize that, and that's what I feel I'm trying to do. Do you know Phyllis Berman?
I think so.
She's
Yeah.
Arthur Waskow's wife.
Who's Arthur Waskow's wife? Yeah.
Right, and she was Shefa's helper on several of the Kol Zimmer retreats. And she wrote me something that so touched me. I'm going to actually share it with you if I can find it, because I sent her a video. Jody told you about that workshop I did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I sent it to Phyllis because she is kind of one of my mentors. And she put, I got it and I've begun to watch it, but haven't finished. I love what I saw and forwarded it to my niece and to Henna, both of whom have your shamanistic necklaces. I've seen the headpiece you've been wearing on Torah Zooms. Call Hakavoad Anael. You've moved fully into yourself in a glorious way, not just as an artist, but as a teacher, leader, and inspirer. So that just came this week, and that really made me just so happy. And I'm not doing this out of ego, just like you're not. I mean, I think we're really being directed to do it for like a higher good. And if I can help you in some way to do that, I want to do that.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So what I, just to go over, so I will write down my intentions for the necklace, what I think the power sources are that would be derived from it, matching it against some of the critical areas that I'm working on in life. And I'll pick a chant that matches up to that.
Right.
And I'll have Jody record it, and then I'll record it.
Exactly.
And then
And
send
you'll
and then send it to, huh?
and you'll measure the necklace that you have, like
and
where
I'll
that's you. And what I'm going to do is I do this whenever I do a custom piece. I go through everything I own. I just flashed in front of me labradorite. Do you know what labradorite is?
No.
It's a form of feldspar. It's the first stone I was ever drawn to, really, really drawn to. It's like a deep gray and it has flashes of blue. Some people call it the poor man's opal because it's not an opal, but it's actually stronger. I love this stone, and that's like saying, whoa, we want to be part of the necklace. Do you want as much diversity as possible in your necklace in terms of size and shape of the stones?
I don't think so.
That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want it pretty much uniform, but maybe with a piece here or a piece there that is like focal.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll make a rough copy. I'll have it ready by next Sunday. Maybe I'll make a couple rough copies if I'm not quite sure, and I'll show you them. So you got your work cut out for you for this week.
I do.
I'll wait until probably Thursday before I actually start the rough copy. Will that give you enough time?
So I don't know if you know, one of the things I do also is I work with the September 11th Victim Compensation Fund.
No, I didn't.
So Friday is the, what is it, the 19th anniversary, I guess?
It's my grandson's birthday. It's the only way that turned 9/11 around. My grandson was born.
Yeah. So I think I want to use the energy of that also to help.
Thank you for telling me that. That's real important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole time then between now and next Friday when I eat, you know what? I'm going to start the thing. I'm going to start now. I know what I'm doing. I'll keep adding energies to it because I want to support you in everything that you're doing as you go to get the energies in the chant and whatever. We're good. We're really good.
Good.
All right. Love you a lot.
Love you too. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.